All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Wednesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today. So we are going to dive in. As always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. Give me 1 second. I will get the chat opened up and I will get your lines unmuted and we can get this thing rocking and rolling. All right, so drop me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay. Good morning, good morning. All right, beautiful, beautiful. So let's get to it. Got some interesting things happening across the globe ahead of the rate statement coming today. And let's go there. All right. So before we jump into these things that we're aware of, there's some escalations that started to happen yesterday into this morning for us Eastern time in the war in Ukraine. President Putin had released a pre-recorded message stating that they are partially mobilizing the Russian country. So what that means is they're bringing in their reserves, around 300,000 troops. And up until this point, they haven't declared war on Ukraine. But this is a precursor to that declaration actually happening in the flow of how these military operations happen. So partial mobilization of the country of Russia. That also means there's some businesses have some sort of financial requirement that they will also have to contribute to the financial side of war. This includes production of more weapons. They're putting these reservists through additional training before they send them into battle, but things are starting to escalate on that side. Up until this point, the world had kind of understood that this was going to be a thing that lingered on for a while, and that was that. But with this declaration, it's an advance or an escalation in that war. So we did see some overnight impacts from that from those comments. So keep that in the back of your mind. It'll impact oil and some other things as we continue to move forward on top of the rate statements that we have coming. So on the United States side of things, Federal Reserve is expected to deliver a 75 basis point hike. Should be the third straight quarter increase, pushing borrowing costs 3% to 3.25%, highest since 2008. Yeah, so that's just an update on what we read yesterday. From a oil perspective, let's drop down here. Brent crude futures surged 3% above $93 a barrel on Wednesday on concerns of further disruption to supply after President Vladimir Putin announced a partial military mobilization in Russia. Gains come ahead of another outsized interest rate from the United States that markets fear could derail global growth and dampen energy demand. Industry data show that the U.S. crude inventories rose about 1 million barrels last week, while gasoline and distillate stocks increased by 3.2 million barrels and 1.5 million barrels, respectively. Meanwhile, the heads of energy giants Saudi Aramco and Crescent Petroleum in separate statements, flagged underinvestment in the oil sector as a major stumbling block for production and the main reason for global energy crisis. OPEC Plus is now falling a record 3.8 million barrels per day short of its targets and about 3.5% of global demand, or about 3.5% of the global demand. So, they've been having this back and forth conversation with Saudi Arabia regarding lifting some previous bans and getting more oil production. And this is kind of the outcome of those comments and those conversations. So that's where we stand from an oil perspective. Oil attached to the Canadian dollar, so we could see some fluctuations happening there. Okay, that's it for the most part, right? Ahead of the rate statement. Okay, so we got rate statement coming in at 2:00 today for the United States. FOMC statement and the press conference at 2:30. Then tonight we have monetary policy coming out of Bank of Japan. Okay, with that, with the conversation coming out of Russia, you saw some movement in your safe havens, your Swissies, and your yens. So we'll continue to watch how things move there from a safe haven perspective. And tomorrow morning we got Swiss National Bank coming in with a rate statement as well. Okay, so any questions from a fundamental perspective before we hop onto the chart? No? All right, cool deal. Well, we'll keep it rocking. We're going to start out on the oil side of things today. Then we'll look at the dollar real quick. We did make some movement yesterday. So oil, daily time frame perspective, right? We made this shallow retracement and we pushed down to this daily support level. Weren't able to quite get into this 118, 127 zone that we've been watching. We're just hovering right above it, right? Not able to break below this daily level. So we're just pushing sideways. This is that push to the upside that the article noted after those comments from Vladimir Putin. Okay. So we're just still pushing sideways at this 118, 127 zone. If we pop back to the weekly time frame, Desi has her eyes on a different view from a weekly time frame perspective, right? Running the fibs off the top, we hit a de-extension there, right? If we run the fib from the low, if we run a fib off the low, like so, right? We're sitting right at a 618 retracement, and we're starting to get the sideways push. Okay, getting a sideways push. So we'll see if we get another push to the downside, or if things turn over and we start to make our way back up. Okay, so that's the weekly view on oil. We bounce back to the 4. We'll pull those out. Run these from the top to the bottom. There we go. Okay. Now, if we drop to the 4, we see here, right, another view of that shallow retracement, just shy of that 118, 127 zone. Okay. Just shy of that zone. So we're pushing sideways, right, in this 80-20 scenario. Right. So we'll see if we're able to break above this daily level and then head to this weekly resistance level. Right. That's the next level that we'll come into. So we'll see how price ranges in here. Right. We could just be headed back to the top of this range, and then we'll see how the market responds from there. Okay. So it looks something like this in this range play. Okay. So we'll see, right? We could see a pushback to the downside with the rate statement that comes today. We'll see how the market responds to that. But that's oil, right? Just hovering in this range right now. Okay. Any questions on oil? Desi, what are you thinking here?
The same. Could you do me a favor? Could you drop your the clouds on there for me, please?
The cloud, yep, on the
Yeah.
4.
Yes, please.
All right. Just pushing straight through the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So any buy I'm going to look at, it has to break the cloud.
Okay. I follow you there for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Additional level of confirmation. Appreciate that. All right.
Welcome.
So that's what we're looking at there on oil, right? Need some confirmation that we break above this cloud with our Kumo twist, TK crossover, and that lagging span up, right? So we'll see if we get those confirmations. Okay. All right. No questions on oil? Oh, all right. Cool deal. Let's take a look at the dollar. So the dollar, right? We've been hovering at this weekly resistance level, tried to break through it, right? This is on the 4-hour time frame. Tried to break through it with this last 4-hour candle here. Now we're getting a bit of a retracement. So we'll see if we're able to fully close above this weekly level ahead of that rate statement. If we do, potentially, we could see this surge up to this weekly resistance level. If we close above this weekly level at 13,282. Okay. We're looking to see if we stayed below it. Now we're looking, because we did close above on the 4, we'll see if we stay above there. All right. If we bounce back out to the daily time frame, right, what this looks like here. Okay, we got a 50% 618 retracement here. Okay, off these daily fibs running to the upside. Right, and we're sitting right in this 118, 127 zone now, in line with this weekly retracement level. We weren't able to break through it before. We're sitting at it again. So we're going to see from a daily perspective, from a 4-hour perspective, how the market responds here over the next few hours, right? If we push above this, like I said, on that 4-hour time frame, we push above and we hold, right? We could see this thing start to elevate. Okay. So we shall see. We shall see. Okay. So that's the 4-hour look, and this is the look that I prefer on this one. All right. So I want to see if we are able to break back below and stay below this weekly level. Benny talked about last night, right? The potential for the monetary policy to come in at 75 basis points, right? But that already being priced into the market, we could see a retracement occur. Okay, so that's why I want to see if we're able to close below this level in the early parts of the day. Okay, in the early parts of the day. If we stay above this, right? If we stay above this, we could see potentially, right, this thing rise higher before it comes back down. So that's what I got my eyes on the dollar to see what happens here. Okay. Questions here? No. All right. Cool deal. So that's $1. I want to take a look at a couple of these euro pairs. Like I said, last night we got some movement in the Swissy. Capital flowing to those. So I want to take a look at this Euro Swiss. Okay. So from a daily time frame perspective, right? Shallow retracement. We pushed down previously, right? Last week into that 118 to 127 zone. Started to make our way up. Weren't able to fully close above this monthly level. And we pushed back down to the support. So now we're looking like a potential creating a double bottom here at this new daily support level. Okay, so we'll see. This is that push down overnight, right, on the Swissy. So we'll see if this turns back over and pushes back to the upside here. Okay, so as we drop down through the time frames on the 4-hour, we have already got a 618 retracement, right? Our matching D extension is here at 94551. Right now, remember, these are all-time lows that we're working on here, right? So in the Swiss yen, working on all-time lows to the upside. On this Euro Swissy, these are all-time lows to the downside here, okay? So keep that in mind. We don't have, we're creating new territory here, right? New support levels. So we'll monitor these as they develop. We don't have anything else to gauge it on aside from those and our fib levels. Okay. So could be potentially creating a double bottom here. This is a strong bearish push. So this retracement that's happening now, we want to see if this pushes back above this kind of a resistance level right here, right? We want to see if we're able to break back above that level. Okay. But potentially creating a double bottom here, right? That if this holds, if this doesn't turn back over and press below, right, this could be the turning point for this to move to the upside. Okay. You know, we got Swissy rate statement coming tomorrow. So that could be a catalyst in either direction, right, for the push to the upside or the push to the downside to break this daily support level. All right. So I'm keeping my eyes on this one. Looking to see what develops here throughout the day today. Okay. So let's drop down to the one. You see on the one, we got the cloud. We broke back below the cloud, right? And we're sitting down here at this level. We got to swing low on the 1 hour. Okay. Now we want to see, do we get price to start to push back to the upside here? Okay. Do we get price start to push back to the upside here? So be patient with this, right? Understand we got that rate statement coming tomorrow. And on this one, I'm going to use the cloud for some confirmation here, right? So I want to see a break above the cloud and get all of our confirmations, TK crossover, Kumo twist, and that lagging span. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, this potential double bottom forming here at the daily support level, right? And if this holds, we could potentially look for a push to the upside on this one. Okay, depending on how that rate statement comes out tomorrow. Okay, questions here on the Euro Swissy?
No, I was going to ask about this because I went ahead and closed out.
Yeah.
I went ahead and closed out because this one of them trades is like, do I hold it or do I let go? So I went ahead and closed out.
Yeah, when in doubt, right? When in doubt, close it out, right? I closed mine too, right? On this move back below the cloud. So, and then when I saw this push down, so okay, now I want to see what develops from here. So I think you made a good decision there, right? Protect your capital and allow the market to tell you what it's going to do. Okay, I think that was a good decision.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions here on this Euro Swiss? No. All right. Cool deal. Let's take a look at the Aussie Swiss as well. From a daily time frame perspective on this Aussie Swiss, we're still pressing down, right? We came into this monthly support level, right? And we got a little bit of indecision. Okay. Been ranging for a bit, and then we got this push down into that level last night. Okay. Come to the 4. Well, here, right? We got shallow retracement, right? 118 to 127 zone still monthly support, right? So if that monthly support holds, we could see that flip and push back to the upside. Okay. Here on the 4, similar deal, right? Shallow retracement, not into the 118 and 127 zone, but this is that indecision and that push down to that monthly support level. Okay. So we want to see if we get that turnover and press back to the upside there. Okay. At a key level that we're sitting at right now, shallow retracements on the daily and the 4 hour. Okay. Get to the 1, we got a 382, but we're starting to stall out. All right. And we're getting some back and forth action here. Okay. Again, Swiss information coming out tomorrow. All right. Could give us a catalyst in one direction or the other. Right. This monthly level could get broken. And if things continue to escalate in Ukraine, understand that the Swissy has been the primary safe haven currency over the past few months, right? The one that we've seen the most movement in when times of uncertainty increase. So we could see this, right? And even on that Euro Swissy, right? That's why these levels are going to be key to see if they hold on the 4-hour and see how they respond. But if things start to escalate even further in the war situation, or if additional things come out that start to give investors concerns coming out of China, with Taiwan and China, we could see these safe havens really start to pick up, primarily the Swissy at this point. So just be aware of these these other factors that could give catalysts for the Swissy to continue to gain strength, right? So we want to see if these levels hold and see if we get some confirmation and pushes to the upside against them, right? So just be aware, right? We're below the cloud here as well, right? So I'm going to use the cloud as additional confirmation, right? And see if we're able to get some movement to the upside, right? If not, it stays below the cloud. I'm allowed it to do its thing and sit to the side, okay? So that's the Aussie Swissy, another one just to stay aware of and see if we get our confirmations, okay? Questions here? No. Okay. Then take a look at the pound Swiss. We've been watching that one for quite some time. Come back to the 4. Run the fib on the 4. Right? And you see that push down here, right? Similar to the rest of them, we got those pushes to the downside overnight. So we'll see this one could continue to linger down and get to this this D extension. Okay. We're working in new territory. We're working in new territory here, right? These are all-time lows that we're creating. Okay. So when we talk about unique times, right? Unique times in the market, these all-time lows and all-time highs, no one has ever seen before, right? So this kind of goes into that same conversation we've been having about the things that we're trading through, right, are super unique, right? These times are super unique and it's different. We haven't seen this before. So we really want to stick to our confirmations, stick to our rules, and stick to trading our zones to ensure that we're able to protect our capital, right, and put ourselves in the best situation possible. Okay. So yeah, so we'll see how this ultimately plays out, but we got a new AB boundary here. That D extension on the daily got hit on this push down. So now, right, we're sliding to the side. This next zone on the daily is this 118, 127 zone here. Okay. If we continue to press down, this would be the zone that I keep my eyes on to see how deep we're going to push. Okay. So as we take this back to the 4, we'll see where that lines up with that 4-hour D extension. So just below that 4-hour D extension. So we'll see, right? I would love for this thing to turn over now and push to the upside. We got pound rate statement coming tomorrow as well. So we'll see what transpires here. But if we continue to press lower, right, we'll look at this 118, 127 zone on the daily as the next level for us to potentially see some movement. Okay. Drop to the 1, see what additional confirmation we get here. All right, so here on the 1, we got a fresh AB boundary within the last 4 hours, 5 hours. So in that 1 hour, 118, 127 zone comes in line with this daily 118, 127 zone. It's going to be interesting. this is going to be interesting to see how the two rate statements come out tomorrow and see what the impact is, even after the rate statement coming out today as well. So we'll watch this to see. Like I said, I'd love for this thing to turn over now off that B boundary and push to the upside. But there is this potential for this to push down here. Okay. So this is a fresh look that we're seeing together. So so we'll see how this transpires over the coming hours and next day or so. Okay. So that's the pound Swissy. If we drop the cloud on this, right, another form of confirmation with these Swissies, right, we're below. So, right, we can use this. If we stay below, we'll allow it to stay below. Okay. Questions here on the pound Swiss. Oh, okay, cool deal. Benny, good morning, bro. I don't know if he's able to chat yet or not. I know he's driving. Might be just listen there. Cool deal. Yeah, it's definitely taking his time down there. Definitely taking his time. So we'll see. We'll see, right? Just use those additional confirmations there.
Good morning,
What's up,
Ryan.
bro?
How you doing, man?
Doing well, man. How about yourself, bro?
Oh, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. What's up, everybody? Good morning.
Yeah, man. You still dropping the kids off?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good now.
Okay. Cool deal.
Yeah,
You got any thoughts on, I don't know if you had a chance to read anything about Russia, Ukraine, or anything from a fundamental perspective overnight?
No, man. Just waiting on
Just
FOMC.
waiting.
You know, that's the
Okay.
main driver. I kind of
Mhm.
put everything else on the back burner until we see, how this comes out and
Yeah.
what comes out of the meeting. The press conferences or whatnot that they always have.
Yep.
So yeah, that Swissy, man, it hasn't even. We know overall, right? The pounds are bearish, but there's no pullback
None, man.
or anything. So even if you're looking to add to a short position or or anything like that, if you're just rolling with the trend, it hasn't given us a lot of opportunity to even to wait for a high price to get short. So
Yeah, not at all.
yeah,
Not at all.
let it keep doing this thing.
Yep. Exactly. Cool deal. Appreciate you, bro.
Yep.
All right. So that's the pound Swissy. Check out the NZD Swissy.
Hey, Ryan.
Miss Ebony, good morning, ma'am.
Hey, good morning. I had a question about if you give it a chance to look at the pound NZD, because I feel like out of all of them, that one, like it shot up like a lot this week, and I was just curious to know like what happened.
Yeah, Benny was actually talking about this one yesterday. Let's take a look at it. This isn't one that I trade a lot, so we might have to do some clean markups on. Let's see. Daily time frame at that monthly low. Let's go back to the weekly.
I guess
Weekly
maybe because
resistance.
it was at that I found that support, and maybe it
Yeah,
was just that
this
minor move.
cluster is super strong there. Yeah. Got a monthly level here, and you got weekly levels here, along with that B boundary. And this has been a tough zone, right? If you go all the way back, you see within this range, it struggled big time. This one is an interesting one because you got your New Zealand dollar, which is a strong commodity currency. You got your pound, which a lot of times moves along with the stock market. But in this situation, because of that, you get a lot of this ranging action, right? So here you found that support, you had a double bottom scenario here, right? and didn't quite get that third touch of that weekly support level. And we're not able to break through there. So as we drop down through the time frame, so the daily here, clean that up. Let's see. Yeah, we could just be headed back to the top of that range. Run the fib here. That's your larger fib, right? It's been happening for quite some time, right? Just been bouncing back and forth, not able to break out to the bottom, not able to break out to the upside. Got a 786 retracement. Matching the extension is there. Excuse me, but that New Zealand hasn't been able to gain any steam. So that's the longer term fib there. If we take a sub fib just off of this previous high here, right? Similar deal. You got a 382 on the retracement, but this monthly support and these weekly support levels have been super key. All right, this is a new daily support level there. This is a strong cluster, man. A strong cluster here that not able to push through. So you got your double bottom scenario right here. And now you're getting that push to the upside. So if we drop down to the 4, zoom in on this some. Let's see. Here. See there, right? Running the fib off the high here. You got a fresh AB boundary here. So now this is your retracement to the other side.
Okay, but overall, it's still bearish.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
time, but that was just a big range that it kind of pulled back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been super rangy here on the 4, right? This is that 786 retracement that occurred there, right? You got to push down, push up, so you hit your D extension down here. So yeah, so this is your retracement off of a fresh AB boundary. So now we'll see, do we get price to stay above this daily level and press higher, come back to the top of that range, right? Or do we turn back over and break back below that daily level or previous daily level anyway? Okay. So that's what I would be looking for to see if we continue to push higher. What you can do is run a sub fib off of this here. So here you got on the sub fib, you got a 618 retracement. So it could be headed higher to this next daily level, right? So we can look to see this fib finish out first and then see if we get some reaction at the top of that range, which kind of plays into that range action happening, right? Bottom, top, bottom, coming back to the top. So that would be my bias going forward, is looking to see price push higher here and get back to the top of that range.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. So we'll see what happens here, right? And get another push up, right? We know we got rate statements coming tomorrow. See if we get that push up to the upside, see what happens at the top of that range if we break out and continue higher, or does that hold and we turn over and press back down to the downside, headed to the bottom of that range. Okay. Any other questions on this one? Nope. Cool deal. NZD Swissy. From a daily time frame perspective, we hit the D extension. Okay. Take this off for a second. We hit the D extension here, right? Shy of a 382. We never got price to turn over, just pressing down, right? The NZD is taking a little bit of a hit. Okay. Taking a bit of a hit. So we'll see what happens down here. Let's come back to the weekly. So from a weekly time frame perspective, we've got nothing below this, right? We got tons of space to get back to this 52,996, which is not an all-time low, but it's a second lowest point. Okay. So we'll see. This is a strong bearish candle here. We'll see how the week closes. We got sub fibs running to the bottom, right? That's the D extension there. So we got a ton of space from a weekly time frame perspective if this is to continue running to the downside. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. There. So here, right? So this is your active weekly fib here. Okay. AB, shallow retracement, 118, 127. We got a 618 retracement here, right? So we pushed down, got to the D extension on the break of this monthly support level, right? So on the weekly time frame, we don't have a new swing low yet. So we don't have a new AB boundary. Okay. So that's the weekly fib. We're overextended on the weekly, right? So if we drop back to that daily, right, and we come back to the zone and run those fibs down. So, right, that's that overextension that we saw. Okay. Now, if we look to see if we have any other support levels, no, right? Even on a daily time frame, we don't have any other support levels between where we are and this 52,996. Okay. So this is going to be interesting, right? This is a strong break. If we continue to close below this level, right? Strong bearish push. What we could see here is this one push down gets that D extension and then potentially give us a retracement to retest this weekly level, right? Because I think we're going to be headed down to this 52,996 with the things that are happening from a fundamental perspective with potential increases or escalations in that war in Russia. We'll see how the rate statement impacts the Swissy, but we could see this continue to the downside here. Okay. So just be aware of that. This is still only on the daily time frame. Okay. Still only on the daily time frame. So we'll watch this and see if we get this push down to the D extension to see if we get a swing low to form somewhere in this range. Okay. So as we get to the 4, I'm gonna run the fib from the top. So similar deal, right? So on the 4 hour, we're sitting in that 118, 127 zone. Okay. Sitting in that 118, 127 zone. If that push to the daily D extension happens, right, we could also see that 4 hour D extension get hit as well. Okay. This is that daily D extension. Okay. So we'll see. But I think this has more bearish movement to it. Let's see if we have some support here on the 4. Man. No support on the 4 either. There we go. Okay. So we do have some support levels coming in, right? Which could also play a role. Okay. So 4 hour support levels. So we could see this happen, right? Push down to that support and get to that daily D extension. So we'll watch this to see, but allow this thing to continue to push to the downside if that's what it wants to do. Okay. We know we're overextended on the higher time frames, but we gotta give it room to breathe. Okay. So on our 1, let's see where we sit. Go. On our 1, we just hit our D extension. Okay. Just hit our D extension, shallow retracement, push down. So this new AB boundary there, we could definitely be in for this continued slide to the downside. Okay. So this is another one, right? You use those additional confirmations, be it trend line or the cloud, and you see we're still pressing down. Okay. So allow that thing to run. We'll look for something down here for a retracement, right? Potential 80-20 on the 4 and on the 1. We'll play that back at least to that weekly resistance level. Okay. So that's the NZD Swissy. Questions there? No? All right. Cool.
These commodities, man, are really being affected, right?
They are big time, man.
By the inflationary pressures globally. And again, we can always use that NZD/JPY too to get a good gauge, right, in regards
Mhm.
to, you know, where that sentiment may be.
Yep. Down.
Right? See it to the downside, how that's falling off.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you
Yep.
got, you know, a strong commodity currency versus a pure safe haven. And you can see how it's selling off. You know, so any, like you say, any pullbacks give you an opportunity to get short. So when we see those rallies, of course we have the 80-20 plays, but just rolling with the trend, right? Just looking for opportunities with those high prices, right? Just like you explained, any corrections and pullback gives you an awesome opportunity to remain short, because there's nothing fundamentally that's gonna change.
Nah. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. It all just add to it, right? We know the inflation piece, but like even the war, right? Adding to that push down. So
Right.
yeah, man.
Right. And so it's just been, you know, just have to be patient, because it with the swing setups, you know, if you're day trading, there's always opportunities. But you know, with these swing setup and these larger moves, you know, you just have to be patient, you know, and wait for the market to give you opportunities and pick your spots. But you know, it's been the bears have been in total control, you know, when it comes to that New Zealand there, you know, the pound it's just been in control. That is what it is. So you just have to wait.
Patience is action, as Benny always says. All right. So in New Zealand, we're sitting at this daily support level that we haven't been able to break back below. Okay. Strong bearish, like this is a visual of what Benny just described, right? Almost straight down. Okay, so we'll see at this daily level, do we get a retracement, right? Or does price continue to press to the downside? Today could give us some indication of that, right? So that's the daily look on this NZD/JPY. Okay. We zoom out, run our fib from the low. We got a 618 retracement, but we're not able to break out to the upside. All right. So we'll see what happens here. If we break down, we could see it head to at least at 82,097. All right. And then we'll have an opportunity to reassess. Okay. So as we drop to the 4. Out. This one, let's see. I believe this one breaks down, but check it. Nope. There we go. Similar deal as a daily, right? 50% retracement, but not able to break out to the upside. So this is that consolidative move sideways here. Okay. So we zoom in on this part here, and this is where we're sitting. Okay. So where we're sitting. So as we get down to the 1, we'll run our fibs off the top here. Bang. All right. So we got to push to the 118 and 127 zone. Now we'll see if this retracement happens or if this turns back over and presses back down. All right. So we're having at this daily support level, resistance level right now. Okay. So that's the NZD/JPY. We'll see how it responds to the rate statement from today. Okay. Questions here? Okay. Nope. All right. We got a few minutes left. If you guys have any pairs you want me to take a look at, drop those into the chat for me, and we'll check them out. While we wait on that, take a look at this gold. Okay, I'll check it out. It's Swiss yen, right? Daily time frame. Got that swing high to form. Now we're getting a bit of a retracement here. All right. Again, all new territory for us. All right. Came just shy of that D extension. So we'll see on this retracement, do we get a double top and officially hit that D extension level there. Okay. We drop down to the 4. This is that retracement action that we're seeing. Okay. We got that to happen. Now we're pushing back to the upside. Gotcha. So we'll see. We'll see if this push back up and gets that D extension occurs. It does give us a fresh opportunity to then potentially get short if it doesn't break through these levels and continue rising higher. Okay. So that is the NZD Swissy, right? I'm not going to go any further than this. We're sitting in this 80-20 scenario, right? And I'm looking to see, right? Does this zone hold? And do we get that pushback down to the downside from here? Okay. So that's what I'm looking for, is swing high to form at some point, even if it's up here, and then give us that last or another push to the downside. Okay. Questions on the Swiss again?
No.
No. All right. Cool deal. Let's take a look at gold. Retracement phase. That's on the 1. Let's drop back to the daily quickly. Daily time frame, we hit the D extension, right? We said we're looking at this zone here. Okay. So we're watching this zone here. So we got a fresh AB boundary here. We broke below this cluster, right? We talked about, I forget last time we looked at this, maybe last week. We said if we break below this cluster, we could see a pullback. But then be looking for this thing to continue short, right? So at the bottom end of this cluster, we broke below the monthly level, we broke below weekly and another monthly level to get down here. Now we're hovering sideways. Okay, so we could continue to see a push. We'll see what the reaction is to the rate statement. But we got a fresh AB boundary with the 118 and 127 zone sitting down here at 1613. Okay, but this was the zone that we're initially watching. Okay, and we got to the top side of it, right? Those drop to the 4. Drop to the 4, right? The reason we're watching that is the D extension on the daily and this D extension on the 4-hour off this 50% retracement. So we're still pressing to the downside here, right? We got this consolidation, but we broke below this cluster. Okay, so we could see a little pullback into it, right? To retest this monthly level. Could see a pullback like that. But I'd be looking for this thing to turn over and give us another press to the downside, get to this 4-hour D extension. Okay, potentially pushing to that 118, 127 zone on the daily. All right, but all signs on this one heads down. All right, we run a trend line off the top. Okay. If you wanted to run an inner trend line, you could draw it manually. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Okay. Oops, too far. Like so. Okay, so any push up will push us into trend line and resistance if we push higher than this monthly level, which I'm not sure that we will. Okay, but if we do, we got a trend line coming in line with the daily resistance level here also. Okay, so we got a lot of resistance for this to fight back through if it's going to turn over and push back to the upside. Okay, but I'm looking for this to continue down at some point. We could get a high price here and then an opportunity to get back short. As we drop to the 1, let's see what she gives us. Whoops. Yeah, still down, right? Even on your 1-hour D extension is right in between that zone as well. Okay, so I'm looking for, like I said, potentially a pushback to the upside and then a continuation short, at least back to this 1 hour and 4 hour D extension. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. So it might give you a high price and then get short. Let's see. What does the cloud say? Pushing through the cloud right now. Sideways push. Consolidation. So that confirms the consolidation. We'll see if we get this push to the downside, but that's what I'm looking for. Continuation down on gold. Questions there? What do you see on that, Joy?
When I had looked at the weekly, because I know I was looking for a high price to get back into the downside, but I was looking at the weekly because if it break back through, it looked like it'll form a swing low. But I know that that's ahead of my time. But I'm still looking for it to be on the downside. I just get confused when it get to those clusters.
Yeah, those clusters are strong, man. So what you can see there is consolidation because there's a fight, right, between your bulls and your bears. You got support levels that if you fully break through, it could be a free fall. And if you push back to the upside, right, you're run back up. So yeah, you got to fight there, right? So we could see more consolidation, but I also think there'll be a reaction of some sort to the rate statement, whether it be up or down. So, but on your swing low, yeah, you could, if you get today and tomorrow to close higher, that'll be an official swing low on the week. I mean, this week and next week to close higher, that'll be official swing low there. Yep, if that occurs. So you got two more weeks basically to see if you get
2 more
that.
weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and we don't have anything else before here. So yeah, we'll see how this responds. Like, we couldn't close below on the weekly below this cluster. We're getting that consolidation. So yeah. I think I still think we have some more of a push to the downside. Like I said, we could see that slight retracement happen, but then I'm looking for price to continue low.
I got my break level still because I was praying for a free fall to that next monthly level. That's what my intentional aim was. But then when I got to that cluster, I stopped with it. So yeah, I seen the weekly and I was like, that looked like, I didn't know how. I looked at the time base, like on TradingView. I looked at the time and I was like, that's a while before weekly close on gold. Yeah. So I didn't. The clusters just confused me. I'm sorry.
All it confirms is a strong level of support. That's it. Strong level of support. That's it. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th push through that zone. So yeah. So we actually broke through it this time, whereas previously we weren't able to. So that's a signal for me too, that we could be finally pushing lower on that.
I think when you run the fib too, it's like a new AB, at least at mine.
New fib off the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good eye. New AB boundary. All right. 118, 127 zone down here. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the market holds. Okay. We'll see what the market holds.
Brian, quick question, non-related fib question. Like since the update, my last fib just run all the way, like the lines.
Yeah, mine was doing that yesterday. And I had it ended up resetting on its own. I logged out and logged back in a few times. And I just left it alone pretty much all day yesterday because it was too much noise for me. So I just let it sit and it reset on its own. So I think they did an update and and it takes a minute for it to reset.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I can do it manually, but it doesn't.
That's what I was gonna say. Ebony tells you can do it manually and keep them short, but the smart fibs it's a little glitch.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, we'll take a look at one more, and then we'll wrap it up. Dollar yen. Dollar yen. Let's see. Dollar cat is still hovering in his 118, 127 zone, by the way, Benny. 82.
I know, man. It's just waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting on the news.
Yeah.
I am too.
Me too. Right. So that's your dollar cat right there, sitting in the 118, 127 zone. So we'll see what happens there. Give me 1 second, everybody. We'll get to this dollar yen. Logan says, good morning, everybody. All right, so dollar yen. Take the cloud off. Daily. Fresh AB boundary, right? Fresh AB boundary in line with this daily resistance. And now we're just hovering, okay? Try and make a little bit of a U-turn and push back up. We'll see if this daily level holds, right? Depending on how this news comes out, okay? Depending on how the news comes out. So we'll see if we get another push up, if it holds, and then we turn over and get that retracement that we think we could potentially see if the dollar retraces. So we'll see. The daily level is going to be key there, okay? As it drop to the 4, you're hovering in that 118, 127 zone. Similar to that dollar CAD, right? Shallow retracement at 118 to 127. You got your sideways push. Okay, got your sideways push. So we'll see what happens here and see if we get a third touch of that daily resistance level. If it holds and then breaks down. Okay. Then if we drop down to the 1, look at this move to the upside here. Let's see. That move there. Bang. All right. So here we already got your 382. Didn't quite get to the 50%, but not able to break out to the upside, right? Some similar movement that we've seen before, right? So this daily level is going to be key for us as this news comes out later this afternoon. Do we get a push up into that level and then another push down for a deeper retracement back to this daily support potentially, right? Or on the news, does Chair Powell say something that causes something like that? Okay, so we'll watch that to see, but we got AB boundary on the daily, 80-20 on the 4, right? In line with this daily resistance level. We're getting this sideways push, right? Those indicators a lot of times play out how we want them to, but we'll see, right? Wait on the news, wait on the confirmations to see if we get that price to turn over, okay? See if we get that price to turn over. Right now on the 1 sitting above the cloud, pushing up. Okay. So I'd be watching this one from the 4 hour. This is the view that I'd want to see. Not that one. Take that out. This view here is the one that I'm watching. Riding the cloud, pushing sideways, right? So if this thing turns over and presses down and gives those confirmations, then I'll be looking for that short opportunity on. Okay. Alert just went off for this. What alert you guys said, Joy?
I ain't got my trading view open.
Okay.
It literally
Break above a level?
Yeah, I set it to break above a level to see if it was going to form a swing to come back down. So
Gotcha.
I got this set as a level to watch to see if a swing form.
Gotcha.
And then I was going to take it. So when I see my swing form above the cloud, I just go ahead and take it on that 5th candle. And then if it don't break the cloud, then I just watch it.
Touch that. Okay, for sure. All right, so that's where we sit. That's what we're looking for. This daily level. Does it hold? Does it hold? Does it hold? Does it hold? All right. Questions on this dollar yen? Nope. All right, good people. Benny, you got anything before we close out, bro?
No, man, just waiting patiently.
Waiting patiently.
This is a big month with all of the rate hikes coming out as we move into the fall. So fourth quarter, I like to dibble and dabble along some of those lower time frames, but I'm just waiting on those setups to come. Hopefully we get these reactions, from these rate hikes, and then we can get it moving. So
Yes, sir.
right now playing the swings, but I like to jump down, do some faster type setups. But I'm trying to be patient to get those corrections that we need to get into some of those type of setups. So
yeah, man.
that's
for
it,
sure.
man.
For
Yeah, it's
sure.
kind of tying up everything, but hopefully we start to break loose today so I can get back at it. But yeah, that's it, man. Continue to be patient, be exciting to see what happens as a result of the FOMC today. And then we've got the UK tomorrow, right?
UK and the Swissy tomorrow.
Yeah, and the Swissy. So your major currencies making their runs. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
It's
So
exciting.
quit dragging. But
Yeah.
other than that, man, see everybody 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look forward to it. Great session, man.
Appreciate it, man. All right, good people. You guys have an awesome, awesome day. We'll see you tonight, 9 p.m. Peace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.